New haircut. Nobody cares. So I want to talk about what I personally think allows people to make best-selling albums or legendary songs, write legendary books, get famous on YouTube if that's your thing, get really good at football, for example. In other words, the only thing that allows someone to be really great at anything, in my opinion, is having time to do it. So I'm going to talk about this in relation to writing a book, although I can apply this to pretty much anything. There's really two components to this, the time to do it and the willingness to do it. Now, time can I think it can be compounded, meaning there is something very valuable to, for instance, write a book and chip away at it bit by bit over years and years. But there's also something incredibly valuable and I think ideal about having maybe your entire day to write a book. The book might be different in that case. I was just watching an interview with Tyler, the Creator, and it was from 6 years ago when he had released Igor, and he was the only guy to reach #1 having self-produced and self-something on the album. And, excuse my cough. In the video, he talked about flying to Lake Como. And, sorry, that was so weird. I just looked at myself and thought I was my dad because my dad has no hair. Anyways, he talked about flying to Lake Como and chilling with other musicians, writing songs, and he just rented out the house. He had a small music setup, and he was like, it wasn't just working, we were hanging out. And to me, that's a freedom that is earned. So what I'm getting at is people like Tyler, the Creator, or any musician who has incredible music. I think initially they're making a sacrifice before they're famous, before they're recognized. They're making a sacrifice with their time and with their effort. In another interview I was watching with Tyler, he said that he was working at FedEx at the time. He had some late night shift that was supposed to get out at 3 a.m. or something. And he had something he wanted to do in New York for music. And he went to his boss and he was like, I don't really know how to quit, but this is me quitting. And his boss basically said, Tyler, you don't belong here. Go on your trip. I'll pay you for the night. Best of luck. And that to him must have been a sacrifice. He was working at FedEx, of course, but he did it. He didn't go to college, okay? That is, I'm still made all these videos. I've now written a book. Maybe I haven't written a book because I got to rewrite it, and that takes way longer, probably double the amount of time writing a draft does. Regardless, I think a lot can get done in college, although arguably I haven't done that much. I have found a way to stay consistent with making YouTube videos, making TikToks, writing my book, whatever it is. I still feel like I'm not thrown into the center of the sea and I'm not going to reach my goals. But admittedly, throughout community college, I've had a ton of time to myself. And the reason I bring this up is because I'm about to get a job and I'll be working 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday through Friday. And now I've got the schoolwork and I'm just trying to strategically structure in my priorities, which are writing and then these videos. So I'm thinking about these times when I would go days and days without a single obligation and how crucial that was to my most creative days ever. I mean, my book right now is titled Alone in Commonwealth. The making of that book was on days when I just didn't have a girlfriend. She broke up with me. Yeah, I'll say that. And then wrote the book. I had very little schoolwork. I go to the gym, train jiu-jitsu, whatever. But apart from that, all I had to do was make stuff. I don't have to pay bills. My parents obviously have a beautiful house, peep the cats, and I wasn't rushed at all. And that's something that I think is a must for making stuff. But I think initially you have to chip away at it. The way I'm going to approach my life, because I want to write a book that people like to read. I want to maybe paint some stuff that people like looking at. At the end of the day, want my life to be about making stuff. I don't necessarily want it to be about clocking in, clocking out. That's kind of a part of the journey at some point. The philosophy I have towards it, and I've made a pretty cool video called The Beauty of a Meaningless Struggle along these lines, which is what I'm gonna do is if I have a goal, I wanna publish this book, I'm going to be so stupidly persistent at doing it, which I've been thus far. Started writing it in January. I have wrote every single day since then, and it's, I don't know, June 2nd. That's January, February, March, April, May, June. That's 6 months. I've written every day, and I'm gonna continue to do that. And there's a lot of days in the rewriting process I don't feel like going back to the book because it feels like a terrible book, and it might be, but I just made this promise to myself that I'm gonna publish the book. And I have this dissonance between wanting to just get it done, move on to the next project, and also commit to my first book, make it as good as I possibly can, and then move on. But regardless, it takes time. And one thing that I'd like to say is that the time can be split up over many, many days in bits. I'm okay with writing 300 words a day, as long as I'm still moving toward it. Because then if I died for some abnormal reason, I would be able to, I guess I'll be dead, so I wouldn't really know, but I would be able to maybe in my last minutes be like, well, I was doing what I wanted to do. But I don't want to watch the book flutter, or my YouTube video, my YouTube channel. I don't want to watch it flutter away, because these are things I care about, and I'm cool if they take a long time. Type shit. I shave my head. No guard. It's pretty good. For all with a widow's peak, here you go. I'm gonna be that one guy that makes all of the widow's peak dudes feel confident in their widow's peak. Maybe I can start wearing cool hats. I never liked hats ever. But I want to make sure I rep the haircut a lot because it's kind of a detachment thing. I hated, getting into being like, okay, is my hair good? Fix it up. That's a lot of energy, so cut the hair off. Anyways, enjoy your night. I'll update you. Maybe I'll make more YouTube videos. I'm not sure, but I love YouTube videos. Peace out, gang. Wait, let's get a thumbnail. I don't know.